Good morning. Happy Tuesday. This is the Travel Tuesday Healthy Lifestyle Show on Happy Trails Hiking. My name is Kay. If you can see that down in the corner, down there. There we go. I'll learn this backwards thing sooner or later. But today is my final live show for Travel Tuesday and the end of season 2. Thank you all so much for tuning in. If you haven't already subscribed to Happy Trails Hiking, I would invite you to do so at this time. This show today is brought to you by our Happy Trails Hiking mugs. Trekker, that's Trekker, got his own spot on a mug, and he's out in the woods. So that's wonderful. And you can find these mugs at happytrailshiking.com/store. I do want to say that I want to say hi to folks, and Our Haunted Travels is back. Hello, Sean. It is good to see you. Thanks for being here. You'll be mentioned more than once in this show. Good day to all, and good day to Inspired John, and hello, Lori Bryant. It's great to see you. Thanks for coming. So today I just wanted to say thank you to all the folks who have been a part of Travel Tuesday for season 2 of the Healthy Lifestyle Show. It's been a fun time getting to know all of these travel professionals and bloggers and all of this. It's just been fun, and I can't say it any other way. So I guess today I'm just going to go through the 30 or so shows that we've had and just say thanks to those folks, and hopefully it'll bring back some memories. So we started August 6th with our Travel Tuesday shows, and I just put a call out in one of my travel things for the Midwest Travel Network in one of my travel groups and said, hey, does anybody want to be interviewed on a travel show? Anyway, and there's a super sticker from Inspired John. So it ended on a fist bump. Well, fist bump back at you, John. Thank you so much. So I had a great answer to that call out, and Theresa Goodrich was my very first interview. And if you remember, Theresa Goodrich is the local tourist, and I was running a bit behind this morning, and so all of the links to all of my guests will be down below. But Theresa is a wonderful author and writer, and she is from the Chicago area. So if you need any information about Chicago or the hotel scene or the restaurant scenes up there, I would highly recommend you go to the local tourist, and you can find her on Facebook, Instagram, and thelocaltourist.com. So my second guest was Tonya Wilhelm and her best bud, Dexter. And we talked about pets and travel, and Tonya runs the website Raising Your Pets Naturally, and she does lots of recipes and training videos and things on YouTube for animals, and she has lots of healthy recipes and natural recipes for feeding your animals. So that was really cool. My next guest was Bill Clevlen from Bill on the Road, and Bill is the St. Louisan, so it was really special for me to have him on, and I met him as he was a keynote speaker at the Midwest Travel Conference 2019, and it was great to have Bill on. He's traveled all over, takes road trips, and talks about them. He is a wonderful storyteller, and by the way, he has a couple books out, and I really enjoy them. They're right back. They're not right back here. There we go. There's. I'm destroying my set. That's the time. Best time to do it is on your last show, right? Sorry about that. So, Driving Across America and 100 Things to Do in America Before You Die. And they're super fun. This one is very just storytelling. It's just awesome. It's fantastic. Trying and Surviving is here. Thank you for being here. It's good to see you from Oklahoma. Appreciate you hanging out with us today for our last show. I'm going over the folks that I've had on for Travel Tuesday. Awesome. After Bill, we had Suzanne Stavert, and she is the owner of Adventures of Empty Nesters, and she travels all over. She lives out in Anaheim, California, or Pasadena, California, excuse me, home of the Rose Parade. And she gets to do all sorts of wonderful things now that her kids are up and out. And, she encourages people all the time to do more traveling and more doing. And since we've been under the lockdowns and things like that, she has been doing a cocktail evening with her husband, Craig, on their Instagram page. And that's been really fun. So make sure that you check out Adventures of Empty Nesters. Next up, we had Within Hiking Distance. Alexandra and Evan were on, and they are just a joy. And they came back to YouTube yesterday. They took a little break and came back with a wonderful video from Mount Rainier National Park. And if you haven't seen that one yet, please go check that out. So this is a really fun picture to look at because, well, all of them have changed so much, and little man is not so little anymore. Oh my goodness. But that was a really fun one. Then our next guest is Sare Broers with the Midwest Travel Network and Travel with Sarah. I would say that Sarah is one of my biggest cheerleaders, and she has been, well, not only mine, but she encourages everybody. Like everybody she meets, she encourages them to crush their day and go and do awesome things. And I love that about Sarah, but she goes anywhere a plane, train, car, or boat will go. And she's done her last trip before the shutdown was on a cruise. And I was really worried about her the whole time that she was going to be able to get off the boat. But anyway, Trying and Surviving says that they would like to go there. And I'm guessing that's Mount Rainier National Park. So would I. So would I. It's on the list. We just haven't gotten to the Pacific Northwest yet. So Sarah is a wonderful cheerleader. If you have any questions about traveling in the Midwest, go see Travel with Sarah. I've done some collaborations with her on her website. And the most recent one is campgrounds or parks, state parks in the Midwest. And so we did that, and it was really, really, really fun. And so she was nice enough to let me collaborate with her. Hello, Jelly Duck. It's good to see you. Thank you for coming. We're talking about our guests that I've had on for Travel Tuesday for the season. So this is the last show for Travel Tuesday for season 2. All right. After Sarah, I had Sonja from the Happy Travel Bug. And Sonja and I are kindred spirits, or I kind of feel like we are. She was a teacher and she, I guess, retired or stopped teaching and went into being a travel professional and a blogger and does wonderful things and just travels all over and writes beautifully and eats yummy, yummy food. She has some of the best food pictures on the web. You might want to check her out on Instagram. And again, I'll have all of their links down below once this video posts. Our next guest was one of the funniest guests I've had, and that's JayJay with the Iowa Gallivant. And he is a gallivanter. He goes everywhere and in Iowa. And food is his thing. He's had prime rib. I think he's dealing with prime rib now, but he's done like taco awards, best tacos and taco trails and things like that. So right now, I don't remember exactly what he's doing, but he's got a lot of cool stuff, and you should check him out on Facebook and follow along on Facebook and Instagram. He's got a lot of good things going, and it's pretty fun. So, let's see. Oops, I jumped. Sorry about that. Next one was Travel Tuesday guest Julie with Open Wide the World. And Julie is from Illinois, and I met her on the Midwest Monday chat. She actually is the creator of that and has handed it over to me. So I was honored to get to do an interview with her, and we did a recorded interview. And she tried to be in the chat for the interview, and that was really fun to have her be able to answer questions. But she and her husband and daughter live in Illinois, and she does a lot of things about multicultural travel and things like that. So that was really neat. My next one, my very good friends, Tim and Lisa Trudell, the Walking Tourists, were on, and they talked about their book. They have 3 books now. You see in Tim's hand there, 100 Things to Do in Omaha Before You Die. I also have Unique Eats in Omaha. Now, most recently, in the last month or so, they have out a new book called 100 Things to Do in Nebraska Before You Die. I have to get it because Nebraska is one of those states that's connected to Missouri that we haven't done enough in. And it's beautiful, and I really want to go visit. So that will be a good place to start. But loved having Tim and Lisa on, and love being connected with them even after the show. So, and Lisa is one of the co-owners of the Midwest Travel Network as well, and a huge cheerleader for me. And Tim and Lisa are both such big inspirations for me. Other big inspirations and huge friends of mine, which I don't get to see enough, are Sean and Marianne from Our Haunted Travels Panic D. You can tell it's been a while since we had them on because it's, well, the wrong name. So we talked about travel and haunted travel, which is fun. And I found out it was more like my regular travel than I would have guessed, I guess. I don't know. I thought there was so much more equipment and things that they needed to have. But yes, so Sean and Marianne were on. It was a joy to have them on. It's always wonderful to get to talk with friends. And that is one thing that I can say through YouTube is that I've gained friends that I never thought that I would ever meet. The internet, when I was, a college student, was a scary place, and you weren't supposed to get on the internet, and you weren't supposed to. It was just dangerous. That's where all the creepers were. Well, you know what? Even the creepy people are cool in my life now. So I appreciate the fact that I can get to meet friends, and that is one of the cool things that YouTube has done for me. Our Haunted Travel says, not really, you don't need to take much, just a recorder. Okay, I probably carry more stuff than you guys do. LOL, creepy people are cool. Yes, there are very interesting folks in YouTube. And I would say the same thing, trying and surviving. I've met very interesting folks, some of which would like to meet me, and others are like, no, you know what? You're fine. I'm fine just watching. But these folks are folks that I am happy to say that I have met in real life, and I'm very happy to call them friends. This was a new adventure for me. I went on what they call a fam trip to Ottumwa, Iowa, and these fantastic folks were all part of the fam trip, and they are professional travel bloggers or travel professionals. And I got to spend a Monday through Wednesday with them in Ottumwa, Iowa, kind of just covering what we do as travel professionals. It was my very first fam trip, familiarization trip. And for those trips, you have a small group of people, and basically the city opens its doors and shows you everything of the best of their city they can show you in 36 hours, so it was really, really, really cool. And it was really neat to meet all these people. And yes, it is Ottumwa, Iowa is the home of Radar O'Reilly. You are correct. That is true, but not the actor Radar O'Reilly, but there is a section in their Ottumwa History Museum that has Radar O'Reilly stuff in it. So that was pretty cool. The next person I had on, I've never met in real life, but I feel like I have. It's April from Minivan Adventures, and she lives up in Michigan. And I met her through Twitter chats, and she and her family do road trips. They love the outdoors. They love reading. They love just doing things as a family. And they've talked about, they on her blog, she's talked about their state park adventures and things like that. She's also talked about going to Universal Studios down in Florida and reading the Harry Potter books before that. Talked about going to Yellowstone and Grand Teton. And we have another show later in the season with April again that talks about going to her trip versus my trips. And that was fun. So April is a wonderful new friend, and I hope that I can meet her someday in person. Marissa, Little Things Travel, and she is also with the company Wonderful. And Wonderful is a women's travel blogging or travel professional organization. And that's how I met Marissa. She was at Midwest Travel Network for Wonderful. She had a booth there. But I got to talk to Marissa about traveling as a woman and traveling as an independent woman and things like that. So it was really interesting. She's lived in many places and is wonderful. And I am glad that I have gotten to meet Marissa in the last year. Cindy from Traveling Adventures of a Farm Girl was an interesting travel experience. She is, as she says, Traveling Adventures of a Farm Girl. So she covers agritourism, things outdoors, on farms, lots of tractors. And I grew up in Iowa, and my dad loves tractors, for lack of anything else to say about it. But she took us through rural America. And most recently, she's gotten to come into St. Louis from Illinois, which is where she lives, and go visit the new St. Louis Wheel and the new aquarium. So she'll take you through that experience too. But if you are in love with rural America and like to read about that, please go check out Traveling Adventures of a Farm Girl and tell Cindy that Kay from Happy Trails Hiking sent you. The next one was travel hacking. I'd never heard of travel hacking before in my life. But LeAnna from the Economical Excursionists came and talked all about travel hacking and what it is and how to get started in travel hacking. It was quite an experience to talk to her and an eye-opener. So that was really fun and a really popular show, and I really enjoyed it. So yeah, that's one of those ones that I will be going back to watch fairly often. Trying and Surviving says tractors are great to cruise in the slow lane. Yes, or on the curb. No, wrong word. Shoulder of the road. Exactly. So next for Travel Tuesday was Amy Piper with Follow the Piper. And I talked to Amy a little bit about her trip to Nova Scotia, and I had her back again on a Foodie Friday to talk about the lobster crawl. But Amy is kind of a new blogger. She's written for many, many years, but she used to be in education, and she's only gotten into her own blog in the last year or so, couple of years, I guess. And so she wanted to come on and talk about her blog. She's a Michigan blogger, and so she's been doing a lot of local Michigan blogging recently. Okay, I had to go faster. I'm running out of time. Lisa Waterman Gray is from Kansas City and is an author, and she is a blogger as well and has traveled all over the world and does a lot more writing, travel writing, than blogging. She also has a YouTube channel where she does short little videos about unique things that she finds as she travels. Next up was Ireland Family Vacations with Jodi Halstead. And Jodi is a wonderful person and is becoming a great friend. Jodi, I found through the Midwest Travel Network, but I enjoyed talking to her about Ireland, and we talked about that in February, right before the whole world shut down. And she had a wonderful trip planned in August to go to Ireland. And right now she is also got 2 other websites. One of them is Camping Tips for Everyone. And you can follow along. And she really talks about if you want to get into camping and RVing, she's your gal. Yeah, she knows about renting RVs and buying RVs and glamping, and she's on top of it. So loved having Jodi on and loved connecting with Jodi on a daily basis via Facebook most of the time. Yellowstone and Grand Teton, family travel versus couples travel. It was a fun show with April from Minivan Adventures, and it was her collaboration idea, and I was thrilled to have her come on and do that with us. She, like I said earlier, she travels with her 3 kids and husband, and this was Yellowstone and Grand Teton trips, and we gave tips for couples and for family travel. So, gosh, it was a really fun show. I talked about travel anxiety with Chelsea from the Wisconsinista, and she's from Wisconsin, and she came on and gave travel tips for people who are anxious when they travel. And that was an excellent show. I really enjoyed that one a lot. And Chelsea was good to get to know. And you can follow along with her on Instagram and the Wisconsinista.com. Jamie Ward from Cornfields and High Heels, wonderful person, and is out doing Indiana travel right now. I believe today she is taking over the Greenfield, Indiana Instagram page. So she's going to do an Instagram takeover for them, and she's going to just promote the heck out of Indiana. And I've never thought of going to Indiana, but it's on the list now. So it's been one of those states that I've driven through to get other places. So that's fun. All right. Trying and surviving. Thank you so much. You're too kind. Too kind. I do a great job because I have great people to work with and great audience members. So, oh my goodness. Creator Spotlight. Thank you so much. That was too kind. Yippee! Thank you so much. That highly too kind. Swedish Travelers here, and so is Hike with Mike. It's great to see you. Thank you so much for coming. We're talking about our Travel Tuesday shows and the folks that I have been interviewing this season, and this is my last show with that. So let's see. After Jamie, I had Gretchen Garrison with Nebraska Travel, and she is a wonderful wealth of information about Nebraska and is an author and a homeschool mother of 4. And so she does an amazing job and really takes her home state and makes it come to life for all of you. And I was just really excited to talk about Gretchen. We don't need to talk about healthy travel tips, but I've done several shows about healthy travel and things like that. And this was one of them. This one, we talked about gas stations and things under the new COVID. How are you going to do this? And so, yeah, we talked a lot about that one. If you're interested in those travel tips during this time. That one's a good one to go back and watch. How can we survive? How can we save the travel industry? Was a panel of 4 guests, and I had the Midwest Travel Network, Beth Santos from Wonderful. I had Jessica from Visit Wichita was on, and then myself. And so we had a great conversation about where do we go from here, since things are shut down and the travel industry is really having some hard times. Then I did several shows all by myself. We don't need to go over those, but I did get to talk to Desmond Donders about a month ago about traveling around Scotland. And we had to talk about all the places that I want to go when I get to go visit and see Dave and Lindsay and take my tour of Desmond, which I've been waiting for. And hopefully on Thursday, they're going to get their freedom. It's going to be their July 3rd Independence Day over in Scotland, so he can go traveling again. After Dave, we had Down the Rabbit Hole with Marty, and she talked about her travels in Canada and some of the things that are going on in her neck of the woods, and how she was still talking travel even through the pandemic. So that's been awesome. Another show that if you're interested in travel, I did hotel stays on road trips. I thought of about 4 or 5 hotels afterwards when I was finished, and hotel chains that I didn't cover, but many of them are the same, and it's already good to go and go check at hotels when you go to do things. 2 weeks ago, I had Visit DuPage, or DuPage County CVB up in Illinois, on for a sponsored video, and it was wonderful to get to talk to their executive director and get to hear more about the wonderful area up near Chicago. And I always think of, Northern Illinois as just all Chicago and all city, but it proved to me that it's not all city. So, and it's a place I'd like to go visit. They've got lots of trails. Last but not least was Roxie on the Road. And Roxie is a wonderful character from Kansas and knows a lot about Kansas travel. She's a new blogger and is interested in having folks join her. And as I've said before, her information will be down in the description when we are finished here. Guys, I want to take the last 3 minutes, to just say thank you, because this is 2 years now of me live streaming by myself, and lots of the times I'm by myself, and you all keep me going. I want to say a special thank you to my Healthy Lifestyle crew. Lori, John, Rachel, Dave, Tony, Justin and Christina, all those folks that have hung in and been in the Twitter group and not away. Gary from Life on the Trail, when he can pop in, is awesome. And, these folks really started me going and just said, hey, you should really go do this. Yankee from Yankees Outdoor Adventures and Steve, the Outdoor Nomad. Those guys have all gotten in there and said, you know what? It's important to talk about healthy lifestyle and travel and things like that. So 2 years ago, we did season 1, we did the workout challenge, and then we did the healthy lifestyle challenge. And this year I expanded it, and I was doing 5 days a week with motivation and travel and workouts and wisdom and thriving Thursdays and Foodie Fridays. And it was too much for me. And that's really what came down to. And I loved the travel, and I felt most confident in sticking with it. So thank you all for sticking with me. I appreciate everyone who's been on Motivation Mondays, Thriving Thursdays, Workout Wednesdays, Cliff Riser. I mean, he's the one who's been keeping us all working out and all that stuff for so long. So yeah, I think that it's been a good run. I'm ready for a break, and we'll see if season 3 happens or not. But I have appreciated all of you, and I appreciate all of the support and everything that the YouTube community has done. Today on Happy Trails Hiking, after this live stream is over with, I will begin working on our 1-year review with Alf, our A-frame camper, so you guys can see how we're using it now. So yeah, I will be taking a break from live streaming, but the edited videos will continue. So expect one of those at least 5 days a week. And I guess that's all I've got. Man, it's been a good run. Thanks to everybody. Do a couple things for me. 1, hit the like button, share this out, and leave a comment once it posts. 2, once it posts, come back, go and visit one of these folks and tell them you saw them on Happy Trails Hiking. And 3, go out and live the life you love today. And remember, you are not replaceable. Thanks, guys.